You're listening to Your Superpowered Mind on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that investigates the innate power within your brain to create lasting change.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Superpowered Mind. I'm your host, Kristin Maxwell, and in this show, we explore the process of transformation and give you tools and strategies that you can use to transform your own life. Today, we are going to be talking to Amy Huentelman about living in happiness. And Amy is a visionary, an inspirational speaker, and a mind-body coach. Through years of research and success with her clients, Amy has created Invigorate, an 8-minute daily energetic cleanse that helps clients to release resistance and raise their vibration. She loves to help her clients live in a high level of happiness, and I love this. Her vision is happy people everywhere, which makes me smile. So, Amy, welcome to Your Superpowered Mind.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristin. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes. And so my first question is always, what superpower did you uncover as the result of mastering your mind?
Well, the superpower came when I learned to live from the inside out. And this superpower is high levels of happiness. And it's super exciting, Kristin, because I have discovered on my journey that we all have the ability to feel good and be happy. We don't have to wait for anything. It can happen right here in this moment. It is your choice. And like you said, I have a vision of happy people everywhere. So it's my passion to teach this.
That is beautiful. So my question is have you always been a happy person?
No.
Okay. Okay.
And well, you know what? Let me just say no completely. Of course not. When I was younger, I was vibrant and alive, and I believed anything was possible, and I was absolutely happy. And then, things happened in life, and I found myself in a period of time where not only was I not happy, but I began to feel guilty that I wasn't happy, because I would look around me and I'm like, wow, I have so much to be happy for, and why am I not feeling this? So it was like already not cool that I wasn't feeling happy, but then it's like putting salt on the wound when we make ourselves feel bad about not feeling a certain way. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally can relate to that. Why, when my life is so good, could I ever not be anything but grateful and happy?
Yeah. And I felt guilty because I was grateful, but it seemed like maybe I wasn't if I wasn't happy. And it's like, so all of that. And, so I'm here to say that we can all get in a place. I've been doing healing work for 20 years, and I can guide anyone into a place just within minutes where what we're doing here, Kristin, is we're getting out of our head and we're connecting to who we truly are on the inside, and we're becoming present. And who we truly are is a happy, beautiful, bright being. And if we're not feeling this, then that means just a couple things. Number one, it means we're disconnected from who we truly are. But on a more concrete level, to understand it more, it also means that we've got some programming going on in our subconscious mind that's getting in the way. And that's my partner's expertise in our program. But what I'm here to really share is that we also got like this heaviness in our body. We got this cellular memory that we've accumulated over years. So, it's not that people, when they get older, they become grumpy. Some people like to blame that on getting older, people not so happy anymore. It's because of this accumulation of stuff that we keep layering into this in our bodies. So what this is when you go out into the world, you may be feeling really good, and then something happens and you get triggered, and then all of a sudden you feel angry or upset. Or let's say there's something that's calling you forward and you would love to step into that, but when you go to step into it, you feel all this fear coming up. And it's not so much about the events or what's going on the outside. What's happening is that's bringing up something that's been in your body, and there's many layers of it.
Yes. Okay. That is definitely, it's my experience that people just, our emotions are energy, and we get this energy trapped inside of our body. So I love that you're doing this work. And one of the things you said is that you help people to learn to live from the inside out. What does that mean?
Yeah, great question. It means that I'll give you an example. So let's say that someone does something to you that you don't like. This is just a simple example. Instead of going to that person and getting them to change, that would be like going out in the world and trying to bang things into place. Instead of doing that, I take responsibility that I am the creator of my own world. And what shows up is my responsibility. So it's my responsibility to go within and say, how did that make me feel? And where am I feeling that in my body? And that is actually a gift. I see that as a gift now because that person is a reflection of what's going on inside of me. And if it's causing me some type of upset, then I can say, wow, thank you. And I get present, I go within, I see what that is, and I clear it out. And then I no longer have to attract that kind of experience.
Yes, very interesting. So I understand what you're talking about, but say a little bit more about what you mean with people when what is happening on the outside is sort of reflecting what's going on the inside. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Because our outer world is a reflection of what's going on within us, and how that comes about is by the way we think and the way we feel and the way we see things. I love Buddhist quotes, what we think, we become, what we feel, we attract, what we imagine, we create. And so if I look out in my world and, it's a reflection of those things. And so what I really love, great, I can keep those things. But if I look around and I see some things that I prefer to be in a different way, I can say, well, this is what's happening. How can I reverse engineer this and program my subconscious mind to create a new reality? And how are these things making me feel? And how can I tune into my body and clear out, what that is? And because another thing that happens, Kristin, is that whenever this process that I teach, getting in your body, and we do this connected breathing, this self-connected breathing, and it clears out resistance and you raise your energy frequency. And every time we raise our energy frequency, it's like coming into a new space, a new reality, if you will, because not only do I feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically, but all of a sudden it's like changing the channel on a radio station that now I have access to information that I didn't to just a moment ago. So now if I've been asking a question, the answer is right there. Or if I was looking for inspiration on a project, it's right there, their creativity. And most importantly, when we do this clearing, we clear out the subconscious mind, we reprogram it, we clear out what's in the way in the body, we raise our energy frequency. The most beautiful thing is that we get connected with who we truly are on the inside. And we have all the answers within us. So then you get really in tune with your intuition and your inner guidance. And when we begin living from this place, instead of living from our mind, it's a whole new reality.
Yes, that is amazing. And this is such a foundational piece from what I see in people and really changing and transforming their lives is understanding how much they create their reality. But we do need to take a quick break.
Okay.
Can you, before we break, let people know where they can learn about you and your work?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I work with my partner, Carl Hunter. He's the creator of Mind Flavors, and you can find us at mindflavors.com/VIP.
Great. We are going to take a break. Coming back, we'll be talking some more about what does it take to really shift to living in happiness. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Dawn Rekla, Executive Director of Superpower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making Superpower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter, we now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Amy, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go around this, because I do know that, for example, for myself and what I see with other people doing is when things are going on in the world, in your world, and they don't feel very good. They are sad things that are happening. Yes. And one of the things that you've said is happiness is a choice. So what would you say people do in that moment when they're really facing hardship in their life and it's sad? What's the relationship to happiness at that point?
Okay, beautiful. So usually when we get in a low vibration, sadness, anger, depression, any of that, we usually get stuck in our head and we start thinking about it. And we try to think our way out of it. And that's the hard way, actually. And because the happiness that I'm speaking of goes way deeper than your thoughts. So I would suggest that when that happens, I mean, I can teach my process a little bit here, but one thing that you can always do is to go out in nature and sit under a tree. Because when we connect with nature, the most beautiful thing, especially when you sit down in the grass or go barefoot, you're going to get connected to your nature. And so you're going to be able to see things from a new perspective. Also, and I have a free process for your listeners that will guide them through this even deeper. But the next thing is also, and getting out in nature will help you do this automatically, but if you're inside and can't get out in nature, get out of your head. And remember that we are the soul, you know, we have a mind, we have a body, but I'm not my mind and I'm not my body. I'm the awareness. Now, if I place my attention and my awareness in my head, I'm actually disconnected from who I truly am, and that's a scary place to live. So I'm suggesting that you bring your awareness down into your body. And I like to use a beautiful ritual, and you can just imagine a ball of light floating above your head when you get in that place, and just allow that light to flow down in your body and have 100% of your awareness with that light. And when you have 100% of your awareness with the light, and you allow it to gently and slowly and be with it and focus down, you know, behind your eyes, and it's flowing into your throat, and you follow it down into your heart. And you're breathing as you do this naturally, and you allow it to flow deeper into your solar plexus, deeper into your lower belly, down to the base of your spine. And that light continues to drift into your thighs, into your knees, into your calves, your ankles, your feet, the bottoms of your feet. And then keep that light at the bottom of your feet, and keep your attention at the bottom of your feet. And when we place our attention underneath our feet, our aura opens. You feel more relaxed, confident, calm. And then in this place, you will notice that if you are feeling what we were talking about a moment ago, it will have shifted. And or you'll also feel something, energy in your body. And that energy in your body is coming up because it would love for you to just let it go. And in this place of self-connection, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth with your tension underneath your feet, because that keeps you connected in your body. And you will feel a shift. And that energy that you were feeling, that heaviness, it will bubble out of your body. It will just let go, and you will be in a new place. And then whatever was causing the upset, you will be able to see it from your soul's perspective now, instead of your conditioned mind perspective.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, for example, just because, first of all, your voice is perfect for guiding people through that process.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I was imagining it myself. So that is beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, because sometimes this is really new for people, this idea of that you can look at something that society says is really sad, and that you think it really is sad at one way, but that there's a different interpretation. And can you it might be a hard question, but can you give us an example of how somebody might look at something and their mind says it's sad, and then from a soul's perspective, there's more expansiveness to it, less tragedy?
Sure. I mean, if you're talking about sadness, like around the death of someone, is that what you're talking about?
Well, sure. That would be a very significant, hard one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've experienced that, a super painful thing to go through. And I will say that there's a lot of emotion and charge around it that happens, that we can release that charge. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's the most uncomfortable thing, isn't it? It's like that electric charge that's like on top of the sadness and everything else. Mm-hmm. And we can clear that out. So then you can come into a place of more of acceptance and more of love and more of gratitude that you had them in your life, and like knowing that, wow, they're in a beautiful place now. Well, that's what I believe. Mm-hmm. So you see it this way, and also you've cleared out that charge, so you feel lighter. And absolutely, that can make a huge difference. Also, when it comes to other upsetting things that we all deal with in life, there's always two things going on. There's like what's going on the surface, mm-hmm. and that's the story, and that's the drama. And then there's always what's going on underneath. So if there's some kind of chaos in your life and you're getting caught up in the drama and looking up at the story, keep focused on that, and you're going to get more of that. And what if it's showing up so you can go deeper and really see what's happening underneath the story, And I say a beautiful thing to do is to connect, like I just expressed a moment ago, and be in your body and begin breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and begin having a conversation with yourself. This is, we're talking about happiness. This is going to make your soul super happy when you take time to connect with you and go within and talk to the wisdom within you, the inner guidance within you, your higher self. And it's like having a conversation between your human self and your higher self. And you will be amazed at what happens. And the more that we go within and connect, not only do we have so much more understanding of what's going on with life, but you develop this beautiful relationship with who you are, and you begin listening to yourself. And the more that you listen to yourself and follow through with what you're being guided to do, and see that, wow, this feels good, it always guides you in the right direction, that you begin to trust yourself. And this is where it really begins getting exciting, because when we can live from the inside out and we trust who we are, wow, then you can navigate life beautifully and easily and spontaneously, just being yourself and just showing up. And you get this, what we call this confidence of being, that I just feel good in my body, in my own skin, and I can just be myself with you, in my workplace, with my loved ones, with anything.
Yes. And I do think that one of the things that so many of us are working towards is a trust that we can handle whatever happens, that mm-hmm. we are fine, that we are still, beauty and light and happiness, no matter what happens. Yes. And there are so many layers. And so I'm sorry I keep asking you these questions. I'm such a...
That's okay.
But how do you do it? It's always been my mm-hmm. So when I know that, again, that a lot of the people that when I'm working with them, when they've got their heads, they're just chattering, mind chatter, going round and round. And you said to go in and to talk to, just to our inner guidance and what's happening within stories, or underneath the story. I think what a lot of people do is they go in and they start repeating the story to themselves again and again and again, and get caught in that loop. How is there like a question that they could ask themselves? I mean, they've done the lights, so they're sitting. What would you suggest to get out of that story mm-hmm. and go deeper?
Yes, well, it's actually this process that is how I became the happiness generator. So you can ask me about that. Yes. So having the conversation with yourself, beautiful, absolutely begins with a question. So you go within and you connect. And it's really good to not be in a hurry with this, to give yourself some space, turn off your phone, close your door, make sure you're not going to be interrupted, and just go into the still space and connect the way I guided. And then just sit there and feel your presence, feel your energy, and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and get into a really grounded, centered space where you are in tune with that voice inside you. So we're tuning into this voice. So you know that you're really here when you no longer hear anything happening in your head. You know, your head will be silent, and you tune within to your inner voice. And then the first question to ask is, to ask yourself is, what am I asking for? And notice I didn't say, what do you want? It's a completely different energy, and that's a word for the mind. It's going to give you a million reasons, and WANT is actually a lack word. So I'm tuning in and saying, to asking my beautiful self, like really taking care of myself, and say, what am I asking for? And go within and see, no matter what's going on around you, there's always something that you're asking for, and you got to listen for that answer. And what is it? So you let that come up. And when you're really connected like this, usually from your inner guidance, the answer usually just bubbles up in a word or a phrase. So what are you asking for? Then the second question is to ask yourself is, why am I asking for it? So this is like showing yourself why this is important to you, why it is meaningful for you. And then the third question is, what can I do for you? And I'm telling you, you know, you go within and sit with yourself and you ask these questions, you're going to receive answers, and you're going to learn something about yourself new. You're going to have an aha. You're going to have an opening up of space, and it's going to take you in a new direction that's going to be a lot more pleasing and liking to yourself than if you just stayed in that other energy frequency and just had that conversation only with your head.
Yes. And it's that I love those questions, and thank you for sharing them, because really, you know, there are a lot of people who have not been taught to look inside themselves. You know, we're also identified with our thoughts. So many of us identified with our thoughts, and that's who we are, and don't know how to get them to be silent. And what I love about what you're doing is tuning into the body is such the energy of the body is such a great way to get out of the head and to really speak to a different part than just that voice that's going to go in a merry-go-round.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, how, you know, I know you work with sort of clearing out the cellular, you know, the energy, the cellular
memory. Mm-hmm.
The cellular memory.
Yeah.
Like what types of things do you have people do, or how do you work with people to bring that about? Well,
I've been working with clients one-on-one for about 20 years, and recently started working with groups with my partner Carl Hunter, like I mentioned. And there's two things that we got to take care of here. One is to reprogram our subconscious mind so that it's in alignment for who we have become and what we're asking for today. That's his expertise, and mine is the cellular memory, like we talked about. So I've created a process called Invigorate, and I was able to take what I used to take an hour long with my clients, and I've got it down into only 8 minutes because we're busy. You know, we have to have time to do this, but it's an 8-minute daily energetic cleanse, and what it does is it instantly diffuses stress, which is beautiful. You instantly feel relaxed. It clears your mind. It energizes your body. It releases that resistance we talked about. It raises your energy frequency. So in just 8 minutes, you feel lighter, happier, uplifted, and inspired. So that's how I do it now in our program.
Wow, that's awesome. To sort of center in and raise yourself up.
And it's super exciting because not only do you feel what I just described in just 8 minutes, but doing it on a daily basis, there's this cumulative effect. So I've been doing this for a really long time, and I am so clear on the inside. And I'd like to tell you and your listeners that I wasn't always this way. I had extreme anxiety. I had fear out the wazoo. I had doubt. You know, I had so much heaviness. It was like I was so scared that I was never going to break through it all, and that I would never be able to live the life that I knew I came here for, because I had so much fear holding me back. And doing just this 8-minute process on a daily basis over time and quite quickly, you release those layers. So what you notice is that you feel lighter. What you notice is you no longer have that fear to do that great thing that you would like to do. What you notice is that person who used to push your buttons can no longer do that because your energy frequency is higher than theirs now, so they don't even touch you. And this is such a beautiful freedom. I feel like this is the greatest freedom of all, when we can live in our own frequency in this higher space, no matter what's going on around us, that I can feel good and happy in this moment right now, no matter what's happening on the outside world.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is such a different way of, it's not what we teach in society, which is a way of blaming other people a lot of the times, of this is how you made me feel, or this is happening. So I have to feel this way. And in this idea of, there can be something that happens that most people are going to say, oh, that's terrible. Yeah. And you can say, well, maybe it's not terrible. Maybe there's a different way of looking at it.
Yes. Yes.
And, it's a whole new way of living and showing up in the world. So thank you for doing that. One of the things that's interesting talking to you is your voice is very clear. Like it is light. You can tell that there isn't a lot of weight.
Well, thank you for noticing, Kristin. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it feels very open. So that obviously it works, your process.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a time that there was no way that I could show up and be with you right now, because that used to be my greatest fear, is being seen and heard. And it was so painful for me, because this is my path. It's like, this is why I'm here to speak. So
yeah, it's so funny. And it's so often what we, your mess is your message.
Yeah, you're right.
What you struggle with is what you're here to really help people do. So I love that. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom with all of us. And will you remind us again where people can learn about you?
Yes, absolutely. mindflavors.com/VIP. So that's mind, MIND, flavors, FLAVORS.com/VIP. And I have a free, beautiful gift for you, so you can experience what I've been talking about here with Kristin. If you go to Happy Self Connection, there's a short process that I will guide you to get out of your head and connect with who you truly are, so you can feel the difference right in the moment. Then I'll guide you through some self-connected breathing, so you can feel what it's like to release any resistance and raise your energy frequency, so you can have a new experience and feel good and be happy.
That's great. So is that happyselfconnection.com?
Perfect. Yes, that's it.
Good. That is awesome. Well, thank you, Amy. And to all of you listening, I so appreciate you showing up for yourselves and trying to create better lives for you and a better world. And until next time, go out and remember that you do hold the power to change and transform your world. Bye.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.